an iconic film like Goodfellas
Yeah,
and work with, the best of the best in the business. For
yeah.
you landing that role and preparing for that, did you obviously, have nerves of working with a legend like Robert De Niro? And even after working with him, did you say, okay, you know what, if I can work with him,
Yeah.
I can work with anybody?
Well, there's the whole story starts out fairly tense. Um, I had just filmed. We had already moved to California. I had
Okay.
just filmed the last episode of Kate and Allie on a Thursday night in front of a live audience. And Friday, I had a 2:30 flight out of JFK to fly back here to California for my
Okay.
first son's birth. He was due. He was due that Monday. I get a call back for Scorsese in Rockefeller Center at 12:30. So I called my wife. I go, I'm taking this call back. To hell with this freaking plane if
Mm-hmm.
I don't make it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I walk in, and this is such a great moment for me in my career, but it's an interesting moment in Scorsese's uh, 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 evolution as well. At that time, for the people who got small roles like I got, they gave everybody the same scene to read. And then, if Scorsese liked you, he'd just find a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, also at that time, for the small scenes like I got, Scorsese was hiring real mob guys or cops that chased real mob guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I walk into the outer room of this audition, and there's guys with silver sweatsuits and patent leather sneakers and cigars, and we all got the same scene, right? So
Uh-huh.
this guy looks at me, goes, "What are you reading for?" And, and I go, "Well, I got the sides for Sonny Bamboo." He goes, "You know him?" I go, "No, I don't know him." He goes, "I know him. You don't look nothing like him, right?" I said, "Well, that's what they gave me." He goes, "Okay, God bless you, kid," right?
You
So
sound like
then I
William
go,
DeMille right there.
yeah,
You sound like my buddy William DeMille right there with the Brooklyn voice, man.
right. So then I go into the office, and now you got to remember, I'd only been in the business a couple of years.
Uh-huh.
So when I had a meeting at McCall's or with ad agencies or whatever, I would always make, we did this from retailing. You'd always make the meeting yours, no matter what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You try to make the meeting yours. So I made up a story to tell Scorsese, and I said, because my grandfather's name is Donato Scorsese. It's the
Okay.
same spelling without the S, right? So I make up a story, and I said, before we read, I got to ask you if we're related, because I said to my grandfather, I'm going to read for the great director, Martin Scorsese. And
Mm-hmm.
my grandfather said, "Wow, I think so. We have a cousin one time, which taken the S out of the name." Scorsese looks at me, goes, "Really? Really? Because we can't find our relatives." And I'm going, "Oh, I'm screwed now." As I made up this whole
Mm-hmm.
story, right? I said, "Well, I don't know. Where are you from?" He goes, "Well, we're from Sicily." I go, "No friggin' way. We're not from Sicily." He goes, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, we're from Naples." He goes, "Oh, you guys drink too early in the morning. You want to do this?" I go, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we read the scene, and I ended up getting those couple of scenes in the movie.
So for you, like,
Can you hear me?
obviously, like you definitely obviously plateaued. What was it like for you working with De Niro? I mean, I've worked with him on projects before, but what was it like for you in your first experience? And how did you come about getting the audition for that project?
I got the audition just because my agents sent me in. They
Okay.
for the first audition. This was a callback for Scorsese. So the first audition was, of course, just in front of casting, and so they just called me back along with the mobsters and the cop guys to see, if I fit in somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
De Niro was great. I mean, he gets in the car. It's 2 o'clock in the morning in Park Slope, and he goes, "How you doing? I'm Bobby De Niro." I go, "Yeah, I know." He goes, like that, right? So, again, I started giving him a little shit. There was a the first scene where they're pounding me and smacking me around. So Scorsese says to me, he comes, okay, he says, Bobby's going to punch you. No, Bobby's going to slam you into the front seat twice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come up, you say your first line, and he's going to punch you. Ray's going to punch you. Okay, so I say, okay, 2 times into the front seat, and we start the thing, right? So he goes over to the camera. He goes, action. Boom, boom. And then, boom, cut. Scorsese comes back over, and I go, you know, I don't have to say the line. We can lose the line. He goes, no, I want the line. I didn't want to say, friggin' Deniro can't count. You said 2 times. He banged me in 3 times, right? So, so I don't say anything. I'm trying to figure out where to get the lines in, right? So then it comes around, right? And they do the master shot through the front windshield of them punching me, right? So they come around and they do Ray's close-up, and they take it from the middle of the scene, right? And then they come around to do De Niro's close-up. And he says to me, if you don't mind, I don't like to take it from the middle of the scene. I like to start from the top. And I look at him, I go, a little method, huh, Bobby? He goes, like that. So, you know, it was, we had, you know, and then here's the other thing. I get into the trailer. Again, it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I did a fitting for the 3 scenes that I'm in. And the wardrobe I have there, I don't recognize. I didn't try that wardrobe on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering where the hell's the wardrobe that I tried on. I get in the car, and De Niro has the wardrobe that I was supposed to have. So he must have seen it, said, I like that. And they went, okay, Bobby, you know, and gave it to me. They gave me something else, you know, for that first scene. But it really was a great, moment for me. And like you said, you know, you work with De Niro, you get through it, and it works good, and you don't get thrown off the set. You can pretty much feel like you can work on any set, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
And
did you know when you were shooting that film would become literally now part of the culture, part of history, part of
no,
such iconic film status?
no, I knew it was going to be big because it was Scorsese and De Niro and all that stuff, but I never in a million years thought it would be like, you know, the preeminent, you know, example of mob movies. You know, it was just, it was. I had no idea, and you know what? I didn't even think about it. I just thought about, and it's funny because I had to improvise this where I'm in the phone booth after they beat me up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to improvise talking to the guy who had the money that I was supposed to get. Well, I read the book and I read what this character had done. This Florida bookie, he had a doctor client of his had the money and hadn't
Mm-hmm.
given it to him yet. So I put that into my improv, and Ray goes, "Where'd you get that from?" I go, "It was in the book." He goes, "Wow." He goes, "You're really freaking prepared." I said, "Well, you know what? If I'm working with you and this guy, you know, I'm not going to come, you know, with nothing. You know, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
bring everything I can. You know." So yeah, so that was part of it too. And then here's the other thing. Was like, you know, when you're shooting nights, you know, your lunch hour is like 3 o'clock in the morning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so we get off for lunch. It's like a half hour. I go and they're serving friggin' lasagna, right? So I don't know when I'm going to eat again. I'm in Brooklyn. You know, I've got to, you know, I had come back out in, you know, months later to do it. So I was in New Jersey with my family, drove to Brooklyn to do the thing. I don't know when I'm going to eat again. So I eat lasagna, right? And I come back in, and De Niro gets in the car. He goes, "You okay?" I go, you know, I ate that catering. I had the lasagna. He goes, "Oh, no. You got to go in clean. You got to go in clean." I go, "You got a freaking chef in your trailer. You can go and clean. I gotta eat when I eat, you know." He
Mm-hmm.
goes, he goes, okay.
I know for many East Coast actors, New York actors, New Jersey actors based, when they land that first, you know, I guess you would call it Goomba movie, you know,
Yeah,
where they're playing either a mobster. A lot of them, especially, you know, they stay in that comfort zone. They stay
yeah,
continuing to book those type of projects and those roles. And for you, obviously, you know, having that swagger, of a mobster, of, the play of that era of a gangster, and then to decide to take the jump to LA where it's completely different typecasting. What was your decision process making, and why did you not do what other people do who obviously land those type of roles, stay in that lane?
I'll tell you, it wasn't really my decision because,
Mm-hmm.
again, I go back to what Ellen said. It's about the work. But when I got here, my only background was sitcom and that one small role in Goodfellas. So then my mentor, and may he rest in peace, Bochco, got a hold of me, and he made
Mm-hmm.
me one of his leading men. And that was at the time when Jimmy Smits, who I'm still friends with, was big on LA Law and all those guys, and all of a sudden I get this crazy show called Cop Rock.
I'm
And
about to get right into that. Before
and,
as for the audience, I'm gonna play something for you, and because I love this show, and this was to me one of the most iconic scenes in television. And I want you to see if you still remember this. Hold on.
okay. You can lock me up, throw away the key. It don't Yep. Make no never mind.
You got a beautiful voice, man. Tell people who are not familiar with the show Cop Rock how great this show was, and of course playing that specific scene. Did you have a
Yeah.
singing background before you sung that?
No, I sang at two friends' weddings. That was it. I was actually probably one of the only untrained singers in the whole ensemble, and I was scared shitless to do it.
You killed it, man. You killed it. You
But
killed it.
and that particular scene, we actually filmed. Those are all real prisoners. We filmed that in the Honor Rancho up in Sylmar up there.
So for those who aren't familiar with the show Cop Rock, explain it to them what the show was about.
So it was, like we say, Law and Order, Rhythm and Blues. Um, it was a show that had all the well-written drama of Hill Street Blues and NYPD, but
Mm-hmm.
there were 5 songs in each show that sometimes, hopefully, advanced the plot, and other times didn't work. And it was the most magnificent opportunity of my career. Again, not being a singer, and having this role, and my role was supposed to go out after 4 episodes. My character was supposed to sing a love song to his gun and blow his brains out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I went, and I wanted to be in movies. That's why I came to California. I went, well, this is a great way to go out of television. But my character tested so well in the pilot that ABC came back to Bochco and said, this guy's got to be a regular. So the whole 10 or 12 episodes ended up revolving around what I did in that first pilot episode, killed the cop killer,
Mm-hmm.
and the court case and everything. And here's the thing people don't know. We had 2 Academy Award winning songwriters on our writing staff. We had Donnie Markowitz, who wrote Time of My Life for Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
And we had Amanda McBroom, who wrote The Rose. The movie that wrote the song that won the Academy Award. And it was just, and we had people on there like Carl Anderson, who played Judas in the movie Jesus Christ Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Sheryl Crow sang background in 2 episodes, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there was tons of talent around there, And I always said, I said to my managers, I said to my wife and kids, I said, someday I want to get an Emmy just so I could stand up there and say, thank you very much, but Cop Rock is the best thing I ever did,
It was a great show. It was a
And you know
great
what?
show.
About 4 years ago, my manager calls me. She goes, somebody sent you something from the Midwest here. It's a tear sheet from a newspaper. I'll drop it off. She drops it off, and it's a tear sheet from, I don't know where the hell it was, in the Midwest. And it had a picture of Jane Lynch. And it said, before